From the
Coming up on Sportscenter, hey look, more people in the White House who only perform every 4 years. Michael Irvin decided to go camping again, but Frank Thomas only signed up for half a session. New rules on the ATP Tour, the net judge is in play. Unlike these balls, which were definitely not. You want glove work? Well, so does Todd Zeile, and that was only half the story. Now that is how you play first, and that is how you play second. But do not play with the wall, and definitely don't do that. All right, you're the greatest. No, you're the greatest. Okay. Or is he the greatest? That is definitely not the greatest. Come on, time to make some decisions. We're going to give you all you can handle. You are under the influence of SportsCenter next.
Hi, glad you can join us for the latest edition of SportsCenter alongside Brett Haber. I'm Linda Cohn.
Ahead in the program, Michael Irvin is back in Cowboys camp. We'll tell you what role, if any, he will play over the next 2 months. Andre Agassi trying to back up his gold medal with a sterling ATP championships. But we start with how the West may be won.
And it could have a lot to do with a player who is often overlooked. The San Diego Padres entered the night just a game up on the Dodgers in the West. They can only imagine how large their lead would be if Ken Caminiti was healthy and hitting earlier in the year. Right now, he's an MVP candidate. Over his last 39 games, the All-Star third baseman is hitting .387 with 39 ribbies, 31 runs scored, and 11 homers. One of those home runs, the game winner against St. Louis Tuesday. On the day after, Ozzie Smith, 13 Gold Gloves to his credit. Scoreless game, bottom of the second, John Flaherty, the flair. 41-year-old Ozzie still has the legs. Pitching close to perfect for both teams. Joey Hamilton looking for his first win in over a month. 8 innings of shutout ball. Todd Stottlemyre for St. Louis shuts down the red-hot Caminiti. 8 innings of shutout ball for Stottlemyre. Cards defense, you know what? They outshine both starting pitchers. Steve Finley, just call him Babe. The drive, Ray Langford. Diving catch. Then to the top of the 7th, Brian Jordan. He hits .733 with the bases full. Look what he does in the field. Then top of the 9th, still scoreless. 4-time Gold Glover Gary Gaetti takes the base hit away from Jody Reed. To the bottom of the 9th we go. Gary Gaetti again. We hear from him. And what does he do? He connects off the high heat of Doug Bachler. Gaetti's 16th home run of the year is a game winner for the St. Louis Cardinals. 1-0 the final. The second straight 1-0 game between these two teams. The talk after this game, obviously the D. In the words of Todd Stottlemyre, this not only was the best defensive game I've been a part of, this is the best defensive game I've ever seen. By the way, Greg Vaughn, he's now 1 for 20 as a Padre. Dodgers, Pirates. Top of the first, Ramon Martinez on the mound. Jeff King, just watch and shudder. Off the jaw of Martinez. Martinez would be okay. Next batter, tied at 1, Mark Johnson. Takes the first pitch off of Martinez for a 2-run home run. Obviously shook was Ramon. Pirates led the game 3-1. Bottom of the 6th, 4-2 Pirates, bases full. Scott Radinsky now facing Liriano. Liriano 5 for 8 in this 2-game series. Drives one deep. Would it be deep enough? Well, it was good enough to clear the bases. Mike Kingery, Jason Kendall, John Wayner would score. Pirates would go up 7-2, and there was 9-2 in the 7th. Jim Bruschi in for Radinsky, Jason Kendall. The 2-run double down the line. Charlie Hayes and Kingery would score, and the Pirates go on to the big victory over the Dodgers. The Dodgers blowing a chance of moving into a tie for first with San Diego. Oh, by the way, the Dodgers played without their third leading run producer, Raul Mondesi. He was yanked from the starting lineup after he showed up 45 minutes late to batting practice.
Well, if ever John Smoltz was happy to be a right-handed pitcher, it was definitely Friday when he got his left hand broken, maybe fractured by a batted ball. Even though it's not his pitching hand, most mortal men, especially on a team with a 7-game lead, might pay a visit to the 15-day DL after that. But not Smoltz, not on the verge of a 20-win season, as the Braves ace did not miss a single start. Smoltz and the Braves taking on Philly on Wednesday. Meet Todd Zeile. Seems like a nice enough guy. But bad things happen to nice people. A minor spasm at first base, and that would be error number 1. Bottom of 3 now, Mark Whitten up. Jim Eisenreich in right, and in dire need of a compass. Get him one. 5-0 Braves, another error. Still bottom of 3, Braves up 7-0. Marquise Grissom bouncer to the rookie Scott Rowland. That's a throwing error. Grissom safe, safe, safe. Remember our friend Todd Zeile? Well, now he's getting discounts. 2 errors for the price of 1. 1 fielding and 1 throwing. How about 9-0 Braves as 2 runs score? which takes us to the bottom of 5. Ryan Klesko batting. Todd Zeile got himself a new glove and didn't help. That's just mortifying. 4 errors, tying the major league record for errors made by a first baseman. That's not the record you want to tie. John Smoltz, anyway, a terrific outing for him. Gets Eisenreich, who added insult to injury, and then Fred McGriff, the crime dog, takes a bite out of that as he goes with the pitch the other way. His 22nd of the season. It's off Toby Borland. Solo shot, his first, though, in 71 at-bats. And dare I say, an ugly defensive game for the Phillies. 14-1. Smoltz allowing 5 hits and 0 earned runs through 5. Raised his league-high strikeout total to 201. By the way, if you're wondering about Zeile's fielding woes, Glenn Davis, the last first baseman with 4 errors in 1 game. We will have more on this topic. Todd will be happy to know. Coming up in Did You Know? Expos and Astros at the Dome. Donnie Wall on the mound, top 6. Cliff Floyd, grounder. And somebody's into leather, and it's Craig Biggio from his knees, and he gets his man. But things would go steadily downhill from there. 2 batters later, Darren Fletcher at the plate. And I believe he turned on. Yes, he turned on it. 2-run shot, his 10th. 4-1 Expos there. Same inning, 4 batters later. The opposing pitcher. That's just flat out demoralizing. Mark Leiter sends one to right center field. 2-run score. 6-1 Expos. Still in the 6th, John Cangelosi auditioning for the part of Matador Ole. Ball gets under the glove. 2-run score. Lansing also would score. My grandmother, called up from AAA just before the game, would also score. She's back. Expos win it 3-5. Leiter snapping his personal 5-game losing streak as the Expos win their 5th straight game. They've won 8 of their last 9. Jeff Bagwell hitting his first home run in 22 games. Linda?
Any hint, any mention of labor pains is enough to make Yankee fans feel a bit queasy. 2 seasons ago, when the strike hit, the Yanks were in first place by 6.5 games. New York was up by 10 Wednesday, the day owners said they will present what they call their last and final offer to the Players Union this Friday. When hearing that, union head Donald Fear said, quote, "Last and final suggests an absence of a willingness to continue negotiations. I hope they still want to negotiate it." With antacid handy, Yankee fans watch their heroes face the White Sox. To the stadium we go. There's Dwight Gooden, only 1 loss since May 26. 1-0 Chicago top 2nd. Ron Karkovice takes him deep. A 2-run home run, number 10 for Karkovice. He's 2nd in a month. 3-0 Chicago. Here comes Darryl Strawberry. Off his 3-homer night, receives the standing O on this night. First at bat, taking Alex Fernandez deep, but not deep enough. There's Dave Martinez at the track. Bottom 5 now, 2 out, 2 on. Derek Jeter, Ray Durham. Ray Durham right here saves 2 runs with that catch. The game remains 3-1 Chicago. Bottom of the 7th, 3-2 Chicago. Joe Girardi, Ozzie Guillen's throw. Is it in time? It's ruled late. That set up a sac fly that tied the game. Frank Thomas didn't like that call. Next inning, it's Thomas up in a tie game facing Rivera, and Mariano strikes him out. Thomas didn't like that call. You see what he does with his bat, and then he's tossed. It's not often you see Frank Thomas get this upset. Top of the 10th now, tied at 3. Harold Baines gets it done, the veteran. That brings on in Tony Phillips. That would just be the beginning of the end for the Yanks bullpen. 8-4 the final for Chicago. Roberto Hernandez pitched the final 2 innings, allowing just 1 hit. Bob Wickman's performance reminding the Yanks maybe they should have made a deal for another pitcher. This was the 3rd straight no decision for Dwight Gooden. And the question is, could the White Sox gain ground on the Indians? You watched it on ESPN, the Indians and Mariners. There is the AL's leading hitter, Alex Rodriguez. Mariners up 1-0. There's Rodriguez. 3 for 4 on this night. Number 25 for him off of Oral Hershiser. Seattle was up in this game 2-0, but we were tied in the 5th. Ken Griffey Jr. Watch it here. Jr. appears to re-aggravate the injury in his right hand. You can see him wincing in pain. But he would still end up helping the team in the bottom of the 7th with 2 on. Griffey with a sac bunt. He advances the go-ahead runs to 2nd and 3rd. Still bottom of the 7th. Next batter, Jay Buhner, gets it going and gets it done. That scores Joey Cora to put the Mariners ahead 3-2. Bottom of the 8th now, looking for some insurance. Insurance that was provided by catcher Dan Wilson off of Julian Tavares. Kenny Lofton gives it a good shot. It went right off his glove, and the Mariners were up 4-2 in this game. Still 2 outs now. Lofton on first. Jose Vizcaíno would double off Charlton Lofton, who got a head start, will come around from first to score and tie the game at 4. Cleveland on a roll because your next batter, Mark Carrion. The grounder to second, and here comes Joey Cora with a bare hand, and that is dangerous as it gets by Paul Sorrento. Vizcaíno running all the way would beat the throw and score from second to make it 5-4 Indians, and then same score bottom line. Alex Rodriguez off of Mesa. Manny Ramirez, look, he placed the carom perfectly, and then the gun to get Rodriguez's second, and folks, that was it, and the Indians win a thriller 5-4. Mesa coming through with his 27th save. Cleveland's Major League leading 7th win when trailing after 8 innings. And look at Seattle. They've now lost 4 of 5. Brett?